Welcome back, everyone. Here with the channel, and today we're going to see a terrifying tale from the depths of hell itself. This is called Broken Elevator Horror. It's pretty scary, so buckle up. In the middle of the night, a young family was awoken in their apartment by the sound of screaming. They had no idea what the commotion was at the time, but they soon discovered it was coming from inside their own home. As they began to investigate, they realized that there was an intruder in their apartment. But this wasn't just any intruder. It was something wild, something sinister, something evil. They live in an old building without an elevator, but that didn't stop whatever this thing was from getting up to their floor. At first, the family thought it might be a stray cat or maybe some other small animal, but they soon realized it was something bigger. As they made their way into their daughter's room, they were met with a horrifying sight. A monkey was standing in the middle of the room, swinging from the curtains and making grotesque sounds. And that wasn't even the worst part. The creature then began to climb up the wall like a spider and disappeared through a hole in the ceiling. Now, you may think that this is where the story ends, but it actually gets worse. You see, the parents knew that there was no way a monkey could have gotten into the apartment unless someone let it in. But who would do such a thing? The family lived in an old building without an elevator. In fact, the only way to get to their floor was through a single set of stairs. So how did the monkey get in? Who was responsible for letting this vicious beast into their home? And what was it doing in their daughter's room? As they stood there pondering these questions, they heard a noise coming from the bathroom. It sounded like heavy footsteps followed by a loud crash. The father went to investigate, while the mother stayed in the bedroom with their daughter. He called out to her, asking if she was okay, but she didn't respond. He tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. It was locked from the inside. He called out to her again, but this time his voice was shaking. She still didn't answer. Just then, he heard a blood-curdling scream coming from inside the bathroom. Whatever had been in there had gotten out and was now running down the hallway. He ran to the bedroom to get his wife and daughter, but when he opened the door, they were gone. All that was left behind was a note written in shaky handwriting. It read, "Take the stairs. Don't look back." As they stood there reading the note, they heard a noise coming from the stairs. Heavy footsteps were pounding on the wooden steps. As something heavy dragged itself up towards their apartment, they looked at each other, then took off running. They ran as fast as they could, but whatever was behind them was faster. They could hear it gaining on them, its heavy footsteps pounding on the stairs. Finally, they reached the top of the stairs and burst through the door to their apartment. They locked the door behind them and turned to face their pursuer. But it wasn't a monkey. It was something much bigger, much more terrifying. And as it lunged at them, they screamed in terror. You see, what the family had encountered in their apartment building wasn't just a monkey. It was a demon, a creature from hell itself. And it had somehow gotten loose and was now hunting them down. The demon lunged for the family, but they were too quick for it. They dodged its grasp and ran into their bedroom. They barricaded themselves in the room, but the demon was persistent. It began to claw at the door, trying to break down the barriers that the family had put up to keep it out. But they weren't safe. The demon was too powerful, and it eventually broke through the door, causing the family to scream in terror. As the demon approached them, they could see its eyes glowing red in the darkness. Its claws were long and sharp, dripping with what looked like blood. But that wasn't the worst part. The demon then opened its mouth and let out a roar that shook the very foundations of the building. Then it lunged. The father pushed his daughter behind him, shielding her with his body. The demon's claws raked across his chest, tearing his clothes and leaving deep scratches in his skin. He screamed in pain as the demon ripped him away from his wife and daughter. Then it turned its attention to the woman and lunged. She screamed, but before the demon could do any harm, a loud crash came from the other side of the room. The demon paused, then turned its head towards the noise. The little girl had taken that chance to grab a nearby lamp and smash it against the wall. The demon snarled, then lunged for her. But before it could reach her, the father came charging in, swinging a chair like a madman. The demon screeched and backed away, then vanished into thin air. The family was safe, at least for now, but they knew that the demon would be back. As the sun began to rise, the family prepared to defend themselves against the demon. They knew that it was only a matter of time before it returned, and when it did, they would be ready for it.